Well, hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to do an unboxing of a Lamy pen from Germany. It's a fountain pen, and they're just these really everyday pens. They're pretty classic. This is a Safari, and I love these because I can put a coordinating color inside and use it in my sketchbook for line and wash little paintings. So I'm going to be putting a converter in there, and then I have some ink that is waterproof, straight from Germany. That's also like a specialty item. That's gonna be like pink, and it's gonna be fun to use in your sketchbook and use with my watercolors. So join me, and at the end of the video, I'll do a little demo, maybe doing like something like a flamingo, because this is pink. So that fits, and I'll do it in my sketchbook. And I have a Stillman and Birn sketchbook that I do recommend. These are really well made. This is my third one, and it's Stillman and Birn, B-I-R-N. This is the Zeta series. They have different series, but this one has like, it's almost a cardstock paper. It's pretty smooth, and I think it works well with colored pencil. And I haven't tried marker, so I don't know if it bleeds, but it does do good with acrylic. And I'll show you some in watercolor, obviously, and I'll show you some of my sketchbook at the end too. So let's do this. All right. Here's the box it comes in. And this is the second one I've bought, and I don't love the way they package these. These are just kind of flimsy and sort of could fall out, but let's see. Okay. So it comes attached to a little card like this. And then you can see it has this in there. So it's like a piece of cardboard that you're gonna take out. So take that out, we don't need that. So this just has some official info on it, but I love the color. It's a good pink. It's nice and bright, but it's not hot. I would not say it's hot pink. And it's more of a Barbie pink or like a lipstick pink. So you just screw off this part, and I'm going to set that down, and then here's how you do it. So the cartridge that comes with it, standard, I'm not going to use that, but I do save those in my pin drawer. And then this is like a little band that just comes off, and so far so good, right? This is so simple. And then the converter, so that comes in. I think this was about $8. This Safari is around $30, and this was about $8. So you know, you have to include that in the price if you want to use waterproof or water resistant ink to use with your line and wash or watercolors. Otherwise, you can just use the cartridge that they send you, and it will write just good, just fine with that. Okay, so here's this. Let me set it aside so we can get the ink open, because without the ink, it doesn't work with the watercolor. So this is called the Atramentis, and it sounds French, but I think it's made in Germany. So it came packaged in this little, I just love these little boxes. It's like a treasure in there, okay? So got the wrapping. There's some paper and some styrofoam peanuts. And it's wrapped up in this paper. And this is the box. And let's see, ink, yep. And it's the Atramentis. That's the brand, and it says it is made in Germany. Oh, it even has like a German coat of arms here with the black eagle, kind of cool. Very medieval looking, or Renaissance maybe. So another just kind of papery box, nothing fancy. And smartly they put it in a plastic bag because it's ink. And oh, I see the little German coat of arms on there. Atramentis, how you want to say it. And they call it document ink because this is, I guess, good for documents because it's not going to get wet and wash off. Exclusive handmade ink for fountain pens made in Germany. Fuchsia. Okay, I said it was magenta. This is called fuchsia. So, and I actually got this on Amazon. I actually got all of this on Amazon. So there's another emblem of the German coat of arms. And I'm gonna have to look up the name of this because I wonder what it means. If you know, please share. And this is the 45 milliliter, and I think this was in the $20-$25 range. So let me fill up my converter with it. Okay, so that's the lid, obviously, of the Lamy. And the clip is kind of the iconic thing because it's just so simplified and modern, and it almost looks mid-century to me, like the 1970s or 80s, which I love that. It's got a retro feel to me. So these pins have been around, so it actually is retro. So you take the pin and with the nib part and you just push it in there. So I just kind of like pushed it. And then this plunger or piston is like up at the top. And then you put the tip right into the ink. This is like very basic physics, right? And then you start turning to the left, the piston, and it goes down while it's creating a vacuum and bringing up, no, I'm sorry, I got that backwards. I had to have the piston down. That would make more sense, right? Okay, so I put the piston down. So let me say that again. So first it comes like this, but that's not how you start it. You got to start it when it's all the way down. So turn it all the way to the left to where that little black thing, yeah, there we see it, is down. This is really easy, I promise you guys. I'm making it look harder than it is. So turn it all the way down to the left, and then I can't turn it anymore. So it's all the way down. Then you put it in here, all right. So then you turn it to the right. Okay, and now it is vacuuming in the fuchsia ink. Now, I can have like a bad take. I've noticed that, where it's like not vacuuming enough, and that's what it did. And I don't know if I didn't have enough pin nib in the ink. I'll try this again and I'll go lower into there. Yeah, and then I'll go to the right again. And kind of take your time when you're turning. It seems to work better if you go slow. Don't know why, but okay, let's see if it got any in there. It got some in there. It's not full, but I see it in there. Let's see if I can get it with no glare on there. Yeah, there's some ink in there. Okay, let's just try this. So I'll put this on there, the pen body, and it has a little window and it shows that there's ink, it's not full. And I'm not sure why it does that, but there's some in there, so we'll give it a try. So yeah, I want to cover this up. I don't want to spill this. This is precious stuff, you know what I'm saying? And it's okay to get it on you. And then you can put this, they call that posting. And let's see if it writes anything. I'm not sure. It's just gonna go. So it sometimes takes time. Okay, yes, it's writing. It's already writing. Yeah, it's nice, you guys. It's already doing the work. I mean, I just think these pens they're really practical for as far as fountain pens go. They're pretty solid. And like I said, they remind me of the 80s or 70s, the way things were made, and they kind of have that aesthetic. And I think the color is gorgeous. So I am very happy. I don't care that it doesn't come in a fancy box or, you know, any kind of like fancy anything. I just think it's really, really practical. So I think what I'll do is let this dry a sec, and I'll come back and put some water on it and see if it's really water resistant ink or waterproof. I don't know. We'll see. Let's try the water resistant or proof test. I got some water on this watercolor brush and it looks really good. There's a teeny bit of wash out from the ink. However, I didn't let this dry more than 30 seconds after I wrote it with the pen. I just real quick got this brush. So I'm sure if I gave it, you know, a good 5 minutes, it would do the job. I mean, this is exactly what I want in my line and wash, for my line and wash sketches. So I'm not always doing line and wash. Mostly I'm doing cross hatching with colored inks. And let me show you one of those. I kind of showed you earlier. So this is a sandpiper. I do a lot of sandpipers, and I did this with a package of colored little pins, and I just love those, and I'll show those to you. But so this isn't exactly liner wash, but I want to show you my sketchbook, and I want to share a little bit of that. And this is just, I do pretty much all mediums in here. So this one is just a pretty straight watercolor. Again, this is ink. I love this one. I like cross hatching. And this is just pencil. Some local cabbage palms. This is watercolor again. Let's see, what does this say? Yeah, that's the Mackenzie Childs picture. And then this was with my Fude fountain pen. This is also the Atramentis ink. Atramentis. This is actually a watercolor drawing that I did, or painting that I did on a clear gesso. So this paper is not watercolor paper. So I kind of play with that to see if I could give it a more watercolor aesthetic, and I think it did. If you could see the granulation, I love this, how it came out. And this photo I shot of a gal riding her bike on Sandoval Island, and I painted it. Isn't she adorable? I love this. This is a bouquet watercolor, just a basic grocery store flowers, and I just have fun with these. Actually, this is gouache. This is from my Stone Ground palette. So I was getting to know those pigments, and they are they're good. They're made in small batches, and it's in like a mom and pop company out of Canada, Saskatchewan. And then this one is another clear gesso treated page, and I thought the granulation was what I love about watercolor in this one. And then this is a line and wash. So this is what I was looking for. So you do the either one first. You can do the watercolor and kind of get a generic line or shape down for the flower or the leaves, and then you come in with your fountain pen or your any kind of permanent ink liner type pen, and you can do like on top of that. So it gives it that really charming like New Yorker magazine look. And here is some more of my Fude pen, and this is just some scribbles, trying stuff. Oh, that was the was that a squirrel in the tree or a lizard? I can't tell. I did it too fast. And this is just a little painting of a still life with a flower in a cup. Yeah, so let me do a quick time lapse of me sketching out with this, and I'll do a flamingo. flamingo, and it's just a fun little sketch in my sketchbook. You know, I don't have to try to sell it or please anybody, it's just for me. And I just think that this little fountain pen for the price, coupled with this water resistant ink, is a really charming look on this. I probably spent 4 or 5 minutes on this, and I just used this Paul Rubens sparkly watercolor paint palette, just whipped up a couple colors, and then I came in for the background with a normal watercolor just to kind of give like the background and the bird just a distinctive look. I didn't want it to all be sparkly, and I think that works. I just had a great time with this. Thank you so much for joining me. The Lamy pen is a winner. Oops, that's a watercolor palette. Yeah, it's trying to tell me I need to use it. That's my schminky that I always ignore. Anyway, thanks for joining me today, guys. And drop me a comment. Let me know if you have a fountain pen, if you do line and wash, if you do watercolor, and what's your way to tackle the waterproof, water-resistant challenge of watercolor. And also just want to let you know, don't put any like India ink or any of those other permanent inks in fountain pens because they'll clog it. You have to buy special ink that's made specifically for fountain pens, and I didn't know if I mentioned that. And then one other thing I wanted to do was, I said I was going to show you something. What was it? Let's see. Oh yeah, let me show you my colored pens. So these are also another option if you don't want to go the fountain pen route. These are a very affordable option too. And look at these colors. They're super, super fun. Okay, I don't use the black and the brown, all right? You know me. If you know me, you know that. And these are the colors. So that's how I made this little sketch. And I've made other ones like it. And I find this extremely relaxing. And these are, the brand is drawing pens. It's the Muchcute brand, and it's a set